Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday, and it's Andy here from West Ham Reunited. Hope everyone is keeping safe and well. Here briefly to talk about the game that unfolded at London Stadium yesterday. Still a shock for me to say it every time. It was a Europa League semi-final where it finished West Ham United 1, Frankfurt 2. Let's have a look here and see who's in the chat before I get started. Hammerhead, hope you're doing well, mate. Yeah, I hope everyone is enjoying their Friday. So, I suppose I'll probably start with the day in general. I got into Stratford probably about 4:30 yesterday, and everyone was just it was just an amazing atmosphere. To be perfectly honest, I've never seen anything like it. I know the Seville game was what's the best words to say it? The Seville game was had the great atmosphere, but this was just something else. Obviously, the amount of Frankfurt fans what were over there as well. So yeah, I had my interview with Sky Sports News. So I had to head over to the side of the stadium about for 5:30. But as I was going over there, I've never been to that side of the stadium before, so this was like the main entrance and the road what leads up to where all the players and the chairmans and everything go. I saw some ex-players over there as well. I recently saw Tony Gow at a recent West Ham event, so and he actually recognised me as well, which was a nice touch. But no, I saw all of them, and I done my interview with Sky. And then as I was walking back round, uh, these people just come out of nowhere. It was just thousands of people. Um, Great atmosphere. And then I had around by the Heineken bar. I think I got there about four, 5:30, 6 o'clock. Met everyone probably knows Duke from Full Tremine. He was the first one there with his family, so we queued up and had a few drinks, and then it slowly started to get busier to the point where you couldn't move. And Gates has probably got it on his vlog. It started to turn into me and Duke started singing a few songs, and then everyone else got involved, and it really did turn into a great atmosphere. And then as you're getting closer to the 7 o'clock mark, where the teams, or quarter to seven, I think it got eventually released, you saw the rumours circulating of the starting 11, and obviously the big surprise was Kurt Zouma being selected. Fantastic boost for us. Obviously, there was rumours: do you play him or don't you? But I think a player of his quality and experience, you have to play him, and we managed to get that spot on. Um, for anyone who didn't know, obviously everyone sort of knows. Areola seems to be our cup goalkeeper. He started in goal. Ben Johnson right back. Dawson and Zuma centre backs with Owen Creswell left back. Midfield two of Declan Rice, Thomas Soucek with Vanzini playing in front, and Pablo Fornells, Jared Bowen, and in behind Mikel Antonio. Hammerhead, yeah, exactly, mate. Still to play for next week. Um, I was very surprised with the. I even had a few people around where I was sitting were actually booing at full time yesterday. Well, it's not like we got battered, did we? It's not like we lost by 2 goals or three. Like you said, 2-1's a dangerous scoreline, and if that Jared Bowen chance at the end goes in, we have a real chance. Let's have a look. Who else is in the chat? Mr. Cox, hope you're doing well, mate. And yeah, Hammerhead saying hello to each other. Yeah, the reason why is I've got plans this evening, so I thought I'll come on and do my show now, and just to give my brief analysis of how it went. But obviously, for a West Ham fan, I think a few people said it. We probably had our game plan. They probably had their game plan. And after 50 seconds, when that gets changed, to be honest, you can't take nothing away. It was a great build-up goal. Frankfurt, they kept the ball. They kept the ball very well and produced the ball. But Pablo Fornells switching off. See, this is where it got a bit confusing for me, to be perfectly honest, is what formation we were playing. Because at times, Creswell was so far over, I didn't know whether we were actually playing a back five or not. So yeah, it's a bit of a tough one to take on that. But fair play to the boys. They responded well. So look here what happened. Players didn't perform to the best of their ability, to be fair. A few looked nervous. I believe that, mate. And I done my fan cam with West Ham Fan TV last night, and I'm saying, am I being a bit harsh or not? But in my opinion, the fullbacks were weak links for us yesterday. I know hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I hope Moyes makes that change next week. I think Vladimir Coufal definitely needs to come in at right back next week. In my opinion, he's Ben seems to be better as a left back. To be perfectly honest, I don't know what it is, but they're unable to adjust. He just didn't really adjust to the manner of their attacking. In my opinion, Creswell, very wasteful. In general, in my opinion, a couple of deliveries, what he done straight down the goalkeeper's neck, which we're not known for. But as you can see here, let's have a look. Kent, hope you're doing well, mate. Kurt was a game that we got lucky with. Started slowly, which of course we must get hold of. Kostic in the next game as a super player. Yeah, no, definitely. We must improve finishing. Yeah, we'll get onto that. What was I saying? Yeah, so we got back into it with a great work free kick. Kurt Zouma at the back post, and Declan Rice and Mikel Antonio. It was a bit of a scramble, but we managed to get the ball in the net. And after Mikel Antonio scored yesterday, for the first 10, 15 minutes after that, he really did look like a different player. The old Antonio from the start of the season. I thought that's going to give him a bit of confidence to get on. But as the game was wearing off, he was getting more frustrated. Obviously, then playing with the three centre-backs wasn't really getting much joy. In the first half, he got a couple free kicks. In the second half, he never. Very frustrating, in my opinion. But as Kent said, we must improve our finishing. I think if that Jared Bowen chance where he hit the post in the first half, if that goes in, I think that would have been 2 goals in quick succession, and maybe we'll be talking about a different scoreline. But yeah, obviously getting into half time of the scores being 1-1 really was I wouldn't say what we deserved, but fair play to us because of how well these people have beat Barcelona, for example. So they are no mugs, but when you sort of look at it, they're probably the easiest opposition out of Frankfurt. Out of Seville and Lyon and Frankfurt put together. But as you said, football's not played on paper. In the second half, I was expecting Vladimir Coufal to come on, if I'm perfectly honest. I thought in the first half, Moyes probably would have saw that Johnson was getting exposed. I would have loved to have seen that substitution, if I'm honest. The substitution, I know Pablo works really, really hard, and I've been praising him. But he's the same as any player. When he doesn't perform well, he deserves a bit of criticism. What was I saying? Yeah, I was very surprised with that sub of Lanzini coming on. Lanzini was getting stuck in his ball retention. He wasn't having the best game, but I think if you wanted to be creative, especially after they scored the second, I thought Lanzini could have made a difference. But let's have a look here. Another comment before I move on. Their centre back was always in front of Antonio. The keeper saved Bowen's effort in the first. Yeah, no, it was just a frustration of the finish. I know, Ken. Their keeper is no mug either. His former PSG goalkeeper and teammate, of course, of Areola. Yeah, so obviously in the second half, I've looked back at it. I know it was very quick, but great football from them. Obviously, they just ripped us open for the second goal. But it looked offside to me, their goal. Obviously, the ball, he seemed to be ahead of the ball. But we'll save that for another matter. Obviously, VAR obviously checked it, and the goal stood. Yeah, so the substitution. Sorry, yeah, I was maybe expecting Pablo Fornals to come off, but I think it's just like you said for his work rate. But Ben Rama frustrated me as well in a couple of occasions. Obviously, the first chance he got up, you started running at him. I think, oh, Ben Rama's really up for this. He could start to cause some danger for Frankfurt. Obviously, he had that shot from distance, which was went narrowly wide. But the incident where the Frankfurt player was down and we played the ball through, I really don't understand why Saïd Benrahma didn't square that ball. If I'm being perfectly honest, he should have. He should. Jared Bowen and Mikel Antonio were free. Obviously, I don't know how easy that is. I'm not a professional football player, but I think that would have been the option. But I can sort of understand why he did go for goal. But in that situation, when you're trailing, I think. I think he should be squaring that pass. Yeah, um, I may get some criticism for this, but I was on my way home with Nikki from West Ham Fan TV, and we sort of said this. Thomas Souček really didn't offer us much again yesterday. I know he had that half volley, and I think he may have had another chance in that game, but maybe Mark Noble could have played yesterday. And probably a few people are probably thinking why, because I thought on Sunday at Chelsea, I thought it was absolutely outstanding the way he was keeping the ball, and obviously the substitution for Declan Rice. You can understand that with Declan being able to drive on, but before that, I thought he was doing very well on that. So yeah, maybe if it's just a maybe, Noble could have come in. Yeah, let's have a look here. What I mean by that, Hammerhead, you say that Noble would have been worse, but Noble would have been keeping. When Souček gets the ball, he just doesn't know what to do with it, and his retention is um, Noble passes the ball a lot better than Souček. So I think with Noble in there, he would have sorted it out. In my opinion, I'm not saying I respect your opinion. I'm just saying that. Um, oh, oh, really? Oh, it was just because when he shot, it looked like he was further forward. But I've not looked at the replay back, to be honest. Yeah, Lanzini was bullied again also. But we move on. Moving on into the game. Obviously they hit the post for late on as well. But the Jared Bowen effort, I think if that goes in, I think will be a totally different game. 2-2. Maybe we probably didn't deserve it, but on chances and expected goals were a lot higher than Frankfurt. But I think this plays into our hands though as well. I know obviously we did get a defeat, but I think they've not got a good record at home. We've got to attack them, and it looks like that for them to try and sit in. I think that's where we will punish them. I think when they play their free throw in, they're more dangerous. So it'd be interesting. Be interesting to see how we deal with that. It is a tough situation to deal with, but I'm still confident. I really am still confident that we can get a result. Hopefully. No. I agree, Hammerhead. Yeah, we need to, let's have a look here. Thomas is not a creative midfielder, he's a physical destroyer who attacks the box. Yeah, the problem is though, Kent, is he's not really been doing that, to be fair. I know he got his goal against Burnley, but he's just, people sort of say that him and Declan's been getting a bit more forward, but I don't know, he just seems to be a bit more lost. But I'm going to stick up for him from another aspect. Is we've not been getting the ball as much as what we did last season. If you remember Vladimir Sufa, I think he got 8 or 9 assists last year, where he just picked the ball up and whipped the ball in. Same as Creswell. Like yesterday, Ben Johnson had a number of times to cross the ball in, and he just never. And to be honest, another sort of, I didn't realise Ben Johnson's got a little bit of pace, but I thought he had a little bit more. Like you saw him struggling to get back, but it may just be because of how good Frankfurt are. on the press as well. But I'm not. David Moyes has done a fantastic job, and I've seen some people's reaction. It's like season over, etc. The tie is completely not over, and I feel it was a proud moment for your side to be in a not Europa League. It doesn't matter, even if it was a conference, to be a part of a semi-final. I think we can do it. I really can. I think the togetherness of the players, and like what we were in Lyon, if we get a goal in that first half, I think it is a totally different game. As Hammer says here, need to be more clinical like the Lyon game. I agree, mate. I agree 100%. But when you sort of look at it on the bench yesterday, yeah, we had Vlasic, who maybe should have featured yesterday. You've got Yarmolenko, but apart from that, we've not really got anyone else who we can bring on and change the game. Really, when you think about it. So it is a tough one to take. But I can just see a guest for me who's on the green room. I had the pleasure of meeting him yesterday. He looks hanging out of his arsehole still. No, I'm joking. We have got Budgie from Green Screen Elites. How you doing, Budge?
Good afternoon. Oh, Andy. I'm really well, mate, actually. I didn't drink a lot yesterday, so...
Yeah, no, I was only messing around. I
know, I'm fine. It was great bumping into you, mate, and got a few pictures and that, it was really good.
Yeah, no, definitely. Oh, someone ringing you?
Sorry, my phone was ringing, yeah, sorry.
That's all right, mate. It's all right. Obviously, mate, I was just talking. I'm not going to turn it into a negative show. I just want to make it brief. I've only been going for like 17 minutes. I was just talking about points where I think we need to improve. I know hindsight's a grateful thing. Do you reckon Vladimir Sufal will be playing right back next Thursday?
I don't know. I heard what you were saying because I was driving and I had you on in the car. I agree with what you said about Johnson's pace. And because it did show up, regardless of whether he lacks pace or whether it was how good Frankfurt were, that needs to be changed or addressed at the very least, because we can't afford to have that happen again next week.
No, we can't, can we?
So, short of putting Fredericks there, the only other person you can put there is Sufal, and you have to try and make sure that he's equipped to get back quickly,
See, I think Johnson's better going a little bit forward, but Sufal's more defensive minded. But I prefer Johnson as a left back. You wouldn't in Lyon, he proved it. I just think he gets a bit lost. He had 3 or 4 perfect chances yesterday to whip the ball in, and unfortunately he couldn't. I don't want to dig this guy out. He's a West Ham academy, but I'm just looking at the week that obviously the goal come from that side. Well, both of the goals come from that side. From your opinion, mate, I was sort of doing at times we were playing we were reverting from a 4 to a 5. Did you sort of see that with Creswell? I think that's what caused a lot of problems as well.
Yeah. I think maybe there was a little too much demanded of Declan last night as well, mate. Yeah. We were relying on him for his defensive work, but we were also relying on him for the break as well. And unfortunately, you can only be in one place at a time. But having said that, I felt that it was a pretty decent team performance. I felt that, with the exception of 1 or 2 mistakes from individuals, I felt that the team gelled quite well, even after the substitution. I still felt that the team ethic was there. And, you need that in a game. You need that when substitutions come on. You need them to work with the rest of the guys that are on the pitch. And I felt that, Ben Rama did that yesterday, although he wasn't in the greatest form.
Yeah, I was very frustrated. I was very frustrated with him, especially that chance when the player was down. He should have squared that ball. or
Yeah.
pulled it back. I'm not. I'm not going to get into that debate of that player, but in that caliber, if that's Jared Bowen, if that's Manuel Lanzini or Pablo Fornals, they're squaring that ball.
Even
And
if it's Antonio.
I think, yeah, Antonio set Declan Rice up, didn't he? Was that Vienna when he chested the ball down and passed it? And
passed it across, and Deck ran onto it.
yeah, no, exactly. As Kent's put this bang on. Like, Kent's always good. Whatever happened next week, it's been a season. 4 years ago, protest club and divided. Now the club's united. That is a bang on statement. That is a
I
bang
agree
on.
with that 100%, Kent. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, hammerhead that Soufal's crosses are needed. I agree with what Kent's saying here. Soufal's all dependent on his level of fitness because he's switched back from injury if he had to play. I think Fredericks will probably play on Sunday at right back.
Yeah, I actually agree. I mean, I think, as Kent says there, Soufal's injury has kind of knocked him a bit, this season.
Yeah.
And that's why when I was saying about the right back position that, providing Soufal's equipped to get back quickly enough, then play him by all means, because as you say, the crosses are needed,
Yeah. Very
Frederick
good point from Mohammed.
Not quite as good at the crossing, but then he has got Bowen in front of him, so
Yeah, no, but that's right. I think he set up like 4 or 5 of his goals. I think last year, Soufal. Epic as well. Samuel just unlucky as hell. I agree. The post, crossbar. Hammerhead saying was
that overhead kick from Bowen.
I know.
I was stood with. I watched the second half from the disabled area, and because it was quite empty there, the disabled area. So I just went and stood there. I mean, I was asked to move along by a steward and moved along, and then came back, and then moved along the other way and came back. So when that overhead kick went, I was obviously at the opposite end.
Yeah.
And oh mate, when it hit the bar and that, I was like, "Are you shitting me? Are you absolutely?" And then it came up on the screen as well. It's like, "Oh my god, how unlucky was that?"
Are you surprised by a lot of negativity from certain fans? Is it the expectation, or are these not true West Ham fans who are just coming there with a very high expectation?
Yeah, on the subject of true or not West Ham fans, I don't really get into that. Because,
no, that's fine. That's fine.
I mean, the thing, the way I see it, Andy, is that it doesn't matter if you were born into West Ham or whether your company have had corporate tickets and you've become a West Ham fan because of it. I don't care where the West Ham fans come from or how they come, as long as we get them, and that's kind of my view. So, the negativity, I think that's probably, and I use this term loosely, if you like, I think they're probably a little bit uneducated about West Ham culture.
Yeah.
So possibly new fans, possibly, not diehards, if you like. But I don't say they're true or not. I believe anybody.
I think that was probably a bit harsh. What I mean is, just a generic football fan going there to be entertained, because there was a few. Literally, as soon as that final whistle went, there was a group of. I'd probably say they're no higher than their 20s, booing at the end of the game.
Really?
Like, there was probably a group of 10 or 12 of them, and I'm just standing there, and I'm like, how can you boo? Don't get me wrong, a few players didn't turn up. I know. Do you think this could be a blessing, though, Budgie, a goal being behind? Because we know, like a severe game at home, we sort of know what we need to do. And I think I think that really can play into our hands. I think there's a few players, like what we proved at Lyon, a Bowen, Bowen especially, and Antonio at times.
And as well.
Yeah. Quick question for you. Yeah, no, I think they will. Arsenal. See, everyone's sort of saying not write it off, But I think if we perform like we did at Chelsea last week, with just for example that same 11, or maybe make a couple, maybe a Vlasic coming in for a
Yeah,
Yarmolenko, for example, I think we
yeah,
could still cause Arsenal. I know we're sort of going off track. I'm thinking of next week as well. Maybe that could be a blessing in disguise as well, getting them some minutes on the pitch.
yeah. I agree, mate. I completely agree. And the thing is that David Moyes has always had a tendency of like, don't if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of
Yeah,
thing. Whereas with the Chelsea game, he did switch it about. I mean, there was what 6 changes, I believe, against Chelsea.
yeah,
Was it? Yeah. I mean, even if he only halves that in the Arsenal game, um, it's still showing that he's adapting and reevaluating what he's got to do. Which any manager has to do. I mean, it's part and parcel of the job, but it makes it like a refreshing change for us. We're getting to see a lot of players that we're paying the wages for, and we don't get to see, and things like that. But also a fresh set of personnel provides a fresh set of problems for the opposition, because they have been used to watching us with a standard 11. And then when it's switched up a bit, they're like, oh, hold up. We haven't really seen a lot of these 2 or 3 or 5 guys or whatever. So hopefully, it could throw a little spanner in the works for Arsenal at the weekend if he does what he did at Chelsea.
I know Craig Dawson's suspended, but for me, Kurt Zouma doesn't play on Sunday. I know we'll have no centre backs. He cannot play.
No, I know. He was taken off last night, wasn't he? Oh no, he played to the end, didn't he?
Yeah, he played to the end. Yeah, no,
But he didn't look comfortable. He didn't look
to be honest,
comfortable.
we was talking about this last night. Me, Nicky, Ryan, and all that. Even after whenever I see him, he always goes down at least once a game, right, from a challenge But it just shows his desire to get the ball. Do you know what I mean? He's got that no nonsense of old school sort of play.
From the moment I knew that he'd put pen to paper, Andy, honestly, I was jumping for joy. And people were sort of like saying to me, why are you so happy that you've got Kurt Zouma? He don't get minutes at Chelsea. And I went, no, but I bet he does at West Ham, and I bet you he's a monster. And I weren't wrong.
He is a monster. I was buzzing as well, mate. I was exactly the same as you. Considering we got a defeat, mate, I'm not going to sit here and do player ratings for everyone. That's just, I haven't really got the timing. I thought Declan Rice was immense. Was there any other players who stood out for you yesterday? Considering we've lost, I know it's a lot harder.
Yeah. Do you know what? I thought that Dawson was, decent last night. I was really disappointed that he didn't get on that header. Well, that his header wasn't on target from that corner. Excuse me. I think Fornells was reasonably good last night. 1 or 2 slip-ups, but nothing really drastic. But you see, from in the stadium...
Take care, Ken. Thanks for contributing, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Ken. It's so difficult. When you're in the stadium, it's so difficult to follow the ball all the time when you're a spectator like me. I kind of try and watch individuals and see where their mindset is and what they're doing to improve the game and stuff. And I got to be honest with you, I was following Deck quite a lot last night. And also I was watching Alphonso Areola quite a lot last night, because this debate is going to come up about whether he's going to sign a contract or not. I believe he should. Listen, there's somebody at my door, Andy. Just bear with me. I'll mute myself for a second.
That's all right, mate. That's all right. But no, as Budgie there was talking about Areola, maybe being critical, maybe he could have tried and got more palm or whatever on the ball for the second goal. But I think he's been outstanding pretty much when he's played. The one thing what we lack though is, if you saw there, I don't know whether it's just a habit because they're probably used to it with Fabianski, is what I've noticed with Fab is obviously Fab doesn't release the ball quick enough, and Areola collected the ball a couple of times, and we just wasn't on the attack. I think that's where we need to be more clinical, because they know with Areola he's got the throw and he's got the kick. His distribution is a lot better. So that may come onto the pitch next week.
Yeah. And you know, I was quite surprised last night also that you know, when Mikel Antonio took that throw in towards the end of the game in the last sort of 20 minutes or whatever it was, when he was telling them all to press into the box, you know, and they kept on dropping short to try and get the tap back and that, and he was going, no, get in the box, you know, and like the reaction from the other guys was just not quick enough, you know. It delayed the game a bit, you know. By their reaction, just a few seconds, but you know, it kind of gave Frankfurt time to plan their defence, if you like, you know.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I think we need to be a little sharper on our decision making next week.
Yeah,
we're in.
See, it's like they sort of know what situation and what's going to be played. So, in my opinion, maybe we should try something different, a different system. I know it's what we know, but could we try a different, not a back five? But what I mean is maybe a solid midfield three. I know Lanzini sort of does that. Yeah, like proper, literally, like.
I think you're right. I mean, if you had Souček and Rice on two outsides and Noble in the middle, or Lanzini in the middle, even.
See, I think I sort of agree with what Happy's probably going to hate me for this. He won a couple of challenges, but it wasn't his. I think they sort of know they were doubling up on him. I think we need someone more physical in there who can get a tackle in. So you're right. It could be Nobes.
Yeah.
As a free.
If you had Nobes in the centre and Souček and Rice either side, they can both still do their defensive work and get forward as well. And that could also drop into like a 4-2-1-3 even, or a 4-2-1-2-1, you know?
Yeah.
It can work anyway. But, you know, if you're going to do that, you've got to have Fornells on the left, you've got to have Bowen on the right, and you've got to have Mickey in the middle. You know, if you're having a three-man up front.
Because they had a free midfield, they had an extra man all the time yesterday. They had an extra man in the middle, didn't they?
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I mean, it's just a shame that Alex Král hasn't, you know, shone himself in glory, because, you know, from the promise that we had from him signing, it would have been, you know, it would have been, you know, assured Rice in the middle if we were talking about a three-man midfield, and then Král and Souček either side of him.
Yeah,
you know. But as it stands, we can't rely on Král. You know, he's not up to the standard that we need right now, especially not next week.
Yeah. Hammerhead's here. For me, Benny has to start the second leg. It's his last chance. I think he is on. His head's just above the water, in my opinion. I'm not just. It's a very controversial subject, but the players who we're linked with in the summer, I know we can say that. Obviously, a potential Jesse Lingard coming in. I think he's slowly going to be getting down the pecking order, and I think it is last chance saloon. Do you agree?
I do, yeah. And if we are talking about signing this young, what was his name? The double-barrel surname.
Potter, Lewis Potter.
Yeah. And if that is, you know, a solid aim of David Moyes to sign that young lad, it definitely signs a death warrant at West Ham for Benrahma, in my opinion, because that's a direct replacement for that position. You know,
and the one thing what you can say is he's very direct,
Yeah, and you know, even though he's got some of the tricks up his sleeves, he doesn't use them. He doesn't rely on them. He relies on his ability on the ball. And, for me, I think Ben Rama's days are numbered.
I knew it. I was saying beginning with K, but I didn't want to shoot your thanks up. Yeah, Keane Lewis Potter. That's his fault. That's his fault. That's his full name.
Yeah,
But we're just going to briefly talk about it. But Budgie, obviously, there's a few of us in our group and everything, and I was sort of, as you said, you were in the car, but I wanted your opinion. It was just a great atmosphere outside the stadium before kickoff, wasn't it? When a few of us there started singing and everything as well.
It was great. In fact, I released a little video on my channel.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet. I'll have to have a look.
Yeah, it's just literally just a build up to the kickoff, and then once I'm in the stadium and settled, that's when I don't get my phone out again until and then there's a little short thing of after the game. So it's just literally just my day getting to London, being in London, and then going home basically.
Nice,
but it's just a bit of fun, and there's pictures and whatever when we're all together outside the Heineken bar, and that was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, that's what Gatesy kept saying. He went, and Duke went, "No, watch Andy," and then Duke would just shout a song, and I'll just start shouting it, and then everyone was just joining in, wasn't it? It was just like fun.
Yeah, it was great. It was great, and I'm actually having trouble with my voice.
Same here.
All the singing, it's like, it's great, though. Brilliant atmosphere.
Yeah. Hammerhead here. Before we go, we're going to stay on for a couple more minutes, I should say. I think we need to give Krau a chance. He's scored and been in the tournament before when he's played for Prague with Souček. They scored to knock out Sevilla. Exactly. It would be a surprise, though. It would be such a surprise if he did start. But why not? Why not?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, he hasn't trusted him really up until this point, has he?
No.
He's been used, but he hasn't been trusted. He kind of gets put in with a lieutenant every time.
Yeah.
Look, I've got nothing against the guy. In fact, I admire him for his team ethic, if you like.
Yeah.
I can't see him being used, if I'm honest. I can't see it. But I wouldn't necessarily be against it, but it would have to be in a three-man midfield with Rice and Souček. Yeah. For me to be happy with that.
Yeah.
For him to play maybe the right-sided role of Rice and Souček on the left-sided role. And the only reason I say that is because I know that Souček's got a reasonable left foot on him. He can pass a ball with his left. I've seen him do it. I've never seen Alex Kroll do that. So, that's kind of why I would put him out on the right.
Yeah. No, definitely. Right, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, Kroll bossed it in the Man United in the Cup. He did. Right, Budge, before I go, is there anything else you want to say, mate?
Listen, it was an absolute pleasure meeting with you yesterday, Andy, and obviously with everyone else, Bex and Tom and Frankel and Lucas and Hammerette, and it was great meeting up with everybody. It was a really good day. Obviously the result was a little disappointing, but it's only half time. We go in, we have our team talk, we get ready, we go back out for the second half in Germany, and we go out there and we do what we did in Seville, we do what we did in Lyon. We go out there with a positive mind. And that's how we won them games, Andy. Positive thinking.
Absolutely.
And decent ball retention, I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it, mate. Other than that, the only other thing I've got to say is, come on, you Irons.
Yeah, before I go, quickly, Hammerhead saying totally agree with Budgie. Three-man midfield, we play our best with a three in the middle. And we got sent a picture on Hammerhead. We got sent a picture of Happy on BT Sport yesterday.
Yeah. And she's quite embarrassed by that as well.
Joe, what
Yes.
I might, Joe, what we need to do? We all need to. I might ask Gatesy to do it as well. On all our green screens, we should just put it as our green screen background when she's on.
Quality idea. Quality.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. Right, so thanks for Budgie for coming on. It is Friday. I'm going out for a curry later, Budgie. I can't
Me
wait.
too. Me too. I'm
Oh,
going out
no
with a
way.
couple of the boys from the pub. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm meeting them in a couple of hours at 7 o'clock. We're going to
Yeah,
go and have a curry at about 7:30, 8 o'clock, nice and early. And
yeah.
then back to the pub, couple of games of darts, a few down the neck.
Nice.
And then
Yeah.
back here, probably carry on drinking back here and all.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow for my preview for the Arsenal game. It'll probably be morning-ish, probably between 10 and 12, where I look, it's sort of like my little breakfast slot, really, what I had going, where I sort of preview some of the other
Yeah.
Premier League games. So I'll be back tomorrow for that, so make sure it isn't. I will be uploading my version. For anyone who didn't know, I appeared on Sky Sports News yesterday at 5:30, which was a great honour, and I've been speaking to them again today. They said thanks for coming on, so I got the score right completely wrong, but it was just good to just talk about West Ham. So
Yeah.
and
I have watched it, and it was hanging.
Yeah.
Well done, Andy.
Yeah, no, cheers. Joe, what was great though was when it said my name and then West Ham Reunited underneath. That was class. It was.
Hey, listen, don't forget us little lads when you get up there,
Oh mate, I think I'm a bit too old now for that. Maybe if I was Jake's age, I think I may have had a chance. I think, but bit too old for that now. I'm not. I don't even like doing outros no more. So we're going to do a countdown in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But Budgie, we're still West Ham. But what are we?